Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel and some more TSW, and here we are in the magnificent CrossCountry HST, because yeah, I've been enjoying the HST just recently, and of course I've been thinking about the new CrossCountry license that Dovetail have got and what the possibilities are for the future and the cross-country license. This could be one of them. I'm going to get the HST set up, ready to go. We're at Penzance, by the way. You can see the old original Great Western HST there. And here's a little surprise for you. There we go. You might have realised we're not in the normal timetable. We are in a PC modded timetable, which is set in 2023. You can get it from Train Sim Community if you're on PC. It's only available for PC, unfortunately. We have run this live before, but you know, thinking about HSTs, thinking about cross country, I thought we'll do this again, and we'll have a little talk about this service. This is the Edinburgh service, Penzance to Edinburgh, which is quite a trek, isn't it? But enough of that talking. Shall we get everything set up, ready to go? Then at least we're in a good position then. Right, so AWS, we'll unisolate that. DSD, we will need the instrument lights up. There they are. Let's put the master key on. Into forwards. Then we need the headlights, which are over here. There we are, 8:37 in the morning. I think we're nearly pretty good to go. We'll just wait for that. Yep, we can lock the doors. There's the doors. It has a funny thing. Watch the doors. See, as you get near to it, the door's closed. That's a bit weird. Anyway, get the brakes off. We've got a green light. We'll pull out a Penzance. Let's give it the beans. 15 miles per hour out of Penzance. Let it just take the strain, and then we'll be off. As the brakes come off, there we go. Great livery, great livery. This is not an official livery. I think this comes bundled with the timetable, so it's a Creators Club livery. I don't know if it's available separately without the timetable. It probably is. It probably is. But we're going to pop back in. First stop is St Erth in 5 miles. Let's just check the schedule, shall we? So this is the 1S47 to Edinburgh. We've got St Erth 8:44, Redruth 9:04, Truro 9:15, St Austell is as far as we're going, 9:31. That's the schedule for today. We'll just make our way out of Penzance, then we'll get up to speed, and then we need to be mindful that we got St Erth in less than 5 miles. So yeah, just thinking about the possibilities for the cross-country licence. It is a nice livery, isn't it? We've seen it on the 170 officially. That's the only one officially so far in TSW. But we've already got the West Cornwall. Would something be made for the West Cornwall like this? I guess the West Cornwall might need to be a slightly different era. I'm not sure. But an official timetable could be put together, couldn't it? With a couple of new liveries and, you know, utilising some of the other trains that we've got in the game. And that's what just got me thinking about it. Once again with this one, as we saw with the Intercity 125, you're stuck with the Great Western seats, because you can't change that if you design your own livery. But not to worry, we'll enjoy it all the same. Let's give it the beans. There is the fumes out the top as we kick into life. Let's go and have a look from the back. Here it is. If you are on PC, I would recommend going and get this timetable. Just adds a completely different element to West Cornwall. I think the West Cornwall that we've got is it 2019? I want to say 2019, but I'm not sure. Not sure. But this is pretty good. And it utilises a lot of the stock that we've already got in the game. You'll see as we run down to St Austell, you'll see quite a few familiar faces, but in different liveries perhaps that you've not seen yet in TSW. So, alright, off we go. It's a decent run. Did I say 9:31? Yeah, so we're just under an hour we've got to get down to St Austell. But the route itself, I was back on the old Google again. Because once again, I'm not from this neck of the woods, but a lot of you are. And whilst we've been streaming West Cornwall, and we've been on Train Sim Classic, and we've come out of Penzance, so a lot of you filled me in on this local area. But I was on the Google again about this particular service, so I wanted to know about the HSTs and this service. And as is customary, I'll read out what I found out. So this, of course, is the CrossCountry HST, and it goes Penzance to Edinburgh. One of the UK's most iconic long-distance railways, spanning nearly 700 miles, connecting the far southwest of England to the Scottish capital. That's 700 miles. How many drivers is that? So where do the drivers relieve each other? Is that 3 or 4 drivers? The operator is, of course, cross-country trains. It's historically operated by HSTs, but now often Voyagers. So there you go, you see. So now we've got this licence. That's the other thing I want to say. Now we have the licence for the cross-country. Are we going to get a Voyager at some point? And will there be a gameplay pack for the said Voyager on this route? Because I'd like to see that. I'll be honest. I would like to see that. I think many of you want a Voyager. I think that's pretty evident from the comments on a lot of the recent videos. Lots of you have mentioned Voyagers. It says the route length again, approximately 695 miles, making it the longest direct train service in the UK, following the withdrawal of the Penzance-Aberdeen route. Journey time is 11 hours, depending on stops and delays. Don't worry, we're not going to be 11 hours today. We're not going that far. I don't think you could stand 11 hours of me, but you know, it'd be worth giving it a try if we could. We did do the Ambassador's journey, didn't we? A couple of months ago, where we went from Penzance all the way up to Inverness via a combination of Train Sim World and Train Sim Classic. I think this leg was done in Train Sim Classic because it went, I think to Plymouth, which you can do in Train Sim Classic. What we are doing today is the furthest we can go in TSW. So it would be nice to do the whole 11 hours, but you know, it'd be some achievement. But I don't think we're ever going to get an 11-hour run in TSW. Let's be quite honest. So it's talking about some timetable highlights as of August 2025. So this is the latest. It says you can depart Penzance at 11:15 a.m, arrive at Edinburgh at 10:15 p.m, and that is made up of a Voyager, a 4-coach Voyager, and it will stop at Truro. It includes stops: Truro, Plymouth, Exeter, Bristol, Birmingham, Sheffield, Leeds, York, Newcastle, and more. And I'm going to go back to the gameplay for a minute whilst I negotiate this stop at St Erth. You know what will normally happen. HST brakes can be a bit like cheese as well, so we want to make sure that we're not sailing through. That wouldn't be a good start. So we're just round this curve and we're into St Erth. I'll pick up again where I left off on the old facts. I tend to do this quite a lot. You might have noticed it in the last few videos. When I'm running a service that I'm not familiar with in real life, I will, on the other screen, just get up some facts that I can find out and just try to just flesh it out a bit. And for me personally, just to learn a little bit more. Many of you, as I said, know these routes. I'm not, so it helps me to sort of get them in perspective and know what's happening. So we are going to sail through if we're not careful. Let's get some full service. This one could be... no, we're fine, look. The stop markers, by the way, as you probably noticed, there's the red, you see. The stop markers are not adjusted for this timetable. So the stop marker is halfway down the platform there. And in fact, you can see that the back end is also quite off the platform. I don't know. Does this service stop here in real life, or did it? I should say, when it was an HST. I should probably be a little bit more forward than that. But it's fine. I'm not too worried. We stopped. That's the main thing. Everybody can alight at the front. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Does look good. Whoever's done this livery's made a great job, and I apologise. I don't know who's done the livery for this one, but it's very, very good. And I love the old pink doors as well down there on the coaches. We're about to depart, so we will get the doors closed as soon as it gives permission. And I think Redruth is our next stop, but we'll check that. Any second now. There we go. Let's get those doors locked. Don't worry about that door. Again, that's still open. That will close. It's just a weird visual anomaly, that. Look at the beans on that. Perfect. Hope nobody gets hit by that door. See, if I pop out now and I go towards the door, it'll close. Watch. There it goes. Odd. Very odd. Maybe in TSW6 that won't be a thing. But we will get out the station. For all you HST and general horn fans. There we go. We've got 10 miles to Redruth. So let's pop back in, and we've got full throttle. We can get up to 75 on this stretch. What else can I tell you? Well, there's an evening departure as well. Departs Penzance at 6:13 p.m. Terminates at Birmingham New Street 11:55 p.m. But it says this service does not continue to Edinburgh. So you can only go through once in a day to Edinburgh. So it does say pre-booking your ticket and reserving is recommended. You're not kidding. If this is the only one the whole way through, you've got to want to make sure you sat down, aren't you, for 11 hours. That's a long journey, that, isn't it? I wonder how much it cost. I could probably Google that as well. Probably would have told me. But yeah, voyages. You know, I've not been on an HST. Voyages, I've been on plenty of voyages. I've been on the Avanti voyages down from Preston to Euston. In fact, I think, was it the last time I went to Dovetail? It was either the last time I went to Dovetail or the wow, speed in there, or the time before I was on a Voyager all the way down to Euston. So yeah, I've been on Voyagers quite a bit, because they do tend to run in lots of different places, don't they? Wow, that was really fast through there. That's because I'm looking to my right and not keeping an eye on the hood. What else can I tell you? There are some scenic highlights. So let's have a look through the scenic highlights as we start to climb a 1.4% gradient. We have the Cornwall rugged coastline and viaducts. You can also see Devon's rolling hills and Dawlish seawall, the industrial heartlands at the Midlands, Yorkshire's historic cities, and Northumberland's dramatic coast just before you enter Scotland. So there you go. It's not just a long train ride. It tells me as well there is a trolley service available between Penzance and Newcastle. That's quite nice. You can get your cups of tea and your slices of cake, etc. And there are first and standard class options. Got first class on here? Let's check it out. That's standard class. Is first class at the back? Let's have a look. Nah, it's all standard class, isn't it? Here? Oh, hang on. Is that first class? That's first class. Right next to the Buffy car. They always get the first shot of the food. It's not open though. It must be the trolley service again. It must be trolley service on the HST as well as the Voyager on this one. Right, let's keep it down the speed. 60 at the moment. Now I don't know if the speeds have changed, because the speeds that we're seeing in this route are obviously from the original timetable. I don't know whether they're still the same for this timetable or whether they've changed a little bit. They might be a little bit different. That's one disadvantage of bringing out timetables for different eras, isn't it? On these routes, it doesn't change the route. It only changes the stock and the services, etc., that you've got up and down the route. So there's a little bit of believability to overcome, with some of this, but it's fine. It's nice to actually drive this HST down here. I must admit, it's a nice run. I've done this run before. We've done this exact run on one of the live streams when we looked at this route when we first. I don't know if you remember. We tried to get the 800, and we ran it on diesel power, and it wasn't getting up the hill. I don't know if you remember that. And we abandoned it and went to a Western, and everyone was happy after that because we chugged a Western all the way down here into Penzance, and everyone was quite excited. I know there was one or two of you that were really excited about that. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who you are if you're watching. So, changes in 2025, which is of course where we are today. As mentioned, Penzance to Aberdeen direct service has been withdrawn, which makes this route, the Penzance to Edinburgh, the longest remaining direct journey. You can tell me if that's accurate or not still, because I know some of these facts can be a bit they're sort of scraped, aren't they, from lots of different sources. It doesn't mean that every source is true. It says CrossCountry has adjusted its timetable to improve operational efficiency and offer better regional connectivity, especially for day trips from the West Country. That's quite nice of them. I'd love to. I'd love to go on a route like this. I'd have to travel to get there, but I'd love to. I will get down to this part of the world at some point. But yeah, until then, I'll run it in TSW and TS Classic. TS Classic, by the way, we do of course have the Just Trains Voyager in the cross-country livery that we can run out of Penzance. So we can recreate some of the more up-to-date versions that we just talked about. That's all in there. There's a few scenarios I noticed you can download as well, which recreates a bit more of this journey. So we might do that at some point, but we might reserve that for a live one. I have got one scenario that goes from Penzance to Plymouth in the cross-country Voyager. That's quite nice. That's about 90 miles, I think, from memory. So we could have a decent run there, 90 miles. I think we should probably do that when you've all got a couple of hours to spare. I think it's about 2 hours, just over 2 hours, I think. I've not run the full thing yet in TS Classic, but it is there. I've run part of it and I was quite enjoying it. And I thought I'm going to save this so we can look at it together. I didn't. Of course, the first part of the route to Plymouth is this. So once you get past St Austell, if you're only from a TSW background, you may not necessarily know what comes next after that. But it's nice to go somewhere a little bit different that you've seen in TSW. So I think we'll save that. That'll be a good run. Nothing else I can tell you about this route. Nothing else at all. That's the only facts that it's given me this time around. So that's fine though, because we're only 4 miles out of Redruth, and we got Redruth, and let's just acknowledge that because we do have a red coming up. Redruth, Truro, St Austell, and about 36 minutes to St Austell. So hopefully everyone's enjoying this run. The HST is great. Thank you for all the feedback, by the way, on the Intercity 125 HST video that we did the other day. Everybody quite enjoyed that, I think. Very nostalgic. A lot of you picked up the livery as well, so that's good. Let's come to a stop at the end of the platform. We're not stopping here at all, officially, but we do have a red. Let me try and acknowledge it. Right, we need to wait for the signal to change, so... Nice to see those IETs as well in the Great Western livery. That's a nice touch. Right, let's just creep forward. Sorry everybody, everybody stood here on the platform. Look, they wanted to have a ride on the HST, but we're not officially stopping. I'm going to try and run forward and hopefully we don't have to stop, but we may just have to. There's a crossing here, isn't there, as well, a road crossing. That's probably, I assume, what we're waiting for. Let's see. We may just have to stop. This is Camborne, by the way. There we go. It never fails, does it? I got right up to the red, and then it wanted us to stop. So here we go. Let's have full power as we leave Camborne. We've still got 3.5 miles to go. But yeah, I'm going back to cross country. What I'm saying is, I'm looking forward to the possibilities that we've got with this license. I hope in negotiating to get the cross country license, they already had a lot of things up the sleeve that they wanted to use it for, rather than just get the license and then plan it afterwards. I hope, you know, there's a lot of stuff coming. Fingers crossed. We got Dovetail Direct coming up, haven't we? Which, as at the time I am recording this now, which is the 10th of August, we've got the Dovetail Direct on the 26th of August, so a little over 2 weeks from now. And I don't know, even as early as that, potentially we could have something cross-country. I don't know, but if we haven't, then hopefully quite soon, as one of the upcoming TSW6 releases for the UK, we've got some more cross-country. And hopefully that's not just a loco pack as well. Hopefully there's a route tucked in with that as well. .9 still to go to Redruth. We're due in at 9:04. Very nice. Very, very nice. Right, let's see. We're getting up to the full 70. Any of you regular travellers on this route? I know maybe not on the Voyager, the HST, but anybody regularly travelling out of Penzance anywhere? I guess right now the train's pretty popular because we're in the middle of summer. I bet it's pretty popular with holidaymakers, for one thing. I've had some family just come back from Falmouth. They've been down there in Falmouth, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is not a million miles away from here, is it? I did just get the Falmouth route in, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. The Falmouth route I got in TS Classic, the little steam route, and I've been quite enjoying that, actually. It's just a small route, but it was in the sale recently, so I picked that up in the sale. And it's quite good. I don't often drive steam in TS Classic, but yeah, it's a good one. A couple of branches going off it as well. Yeah. Right, we've got a mile to go, and we do have a 40 coming up, so let's take the power off, and we'll put a bit of initial brake in. Try and have a better stop than St Erth, I think, for this one. We're going to arrive quite early. We're only due in at 9:04, so we're going to be a little bit early, but that's all right. I can hear a lot of you saying, "What? Tintin's actually arriving early?" They must be generous arrival times, these in the timetable. And I'm assuming this is actually a real service, is it? This is 1S47, so I don't know. Maybe it is, or was. Right, the stop is just around this curve. We'll have a couple of minutes to wait at Redruth, but that's alright. We'll let everybody get on board. We'll just amble in. We'll have to go forward with this stop marker again. I think the stop marker may be from the original timetable for the 150, because it's kind of halfway down the platform, isn't it? Although I don't even know if it's for the 150. It seems a bit... Even for the 150, where's the stop board? You don't see the stop. I'm going to go forward. I want to get as much of the train in as possible. We should see the stop boards towards the end. Because I think in the 150 is meant to stop further up here, right before the little tunnel. Let's just creep forward. Have we even got stop boards on this route? Can't see any. But we'll get as near to the edge of the platform as we can. Of course, the lead, the lead unit here, we can actually go beyond the platform. There's no signal, so we can go beyond it, get as much of the train in as possible. Let's just stop right there. That's more like it. We can even get out of the HST here if we wanted to. Right, let's get the doors open. See if we've got any takers. Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes to wait, so why don't we have a look around Redruth while we're here? There's actually some collectibles. Because I've got all these on the PS5, but I haven't got them on the PC. I generally don't go around and collect them on the PC, but we'll get a couple while we're here. Looks like there's a poster. Welcome to Penzance, with a little boat there knocking about. That's quite nice. We've of course got the ice creams. That's a rivet thing that they like to do. I think we even had ice creams on the Arosa line. I don't know why you would want an ice cream all the way up there. It's freezing. Yeah, there's a route map. I saw a route map on the other side. So have we got anything else? Are these brutes? Oh, it's the trolleys. There you are. The trolleys is the other one with the suitcases. Love these Great Western benches, by the way. They're nice, aren't they? They are nice. We've got about a minute to go, you know, so I wonder if we can get up over the footbridge in time to get the other map. We'll go over anyway, and we'll see. We'll just come down, and there was one down here, so we'll grab that. We've got half a minute. I'm going to go back after this. There we go. There's another map. I'm not precious about getting these, but they're good fun. If you've got a couple of minutes to wait, it gives you something to do. You can have a wander around the station, whereas, you know, you might not normally want to have a walk around the station. And now I'm getting blocked by people who don't want to get on the train. Right, we've got a few seconds. Let's climb back in, shall we? Get the door closed. Just as the marker tells us to close the doors. Why does it say unlock the doors? What's going on now? Right, okay. That was weird. That's because that was the arrival time, not the departure time. So there you go, that's why people weren't getting on. Because even though I opened the doors, because I was early, they didn't want to get on until the official getting on time. Go work that out when you've got an 11-hour journey. You might want to get on and get sat down, might you? I don't know. I would. There's nothing as queer as folk, is what they say. So there you go. Right, this time we will be able to depart. So we'll go and have a look at the doors closing, shall we? The doors are hitting each other right there nearly. So we'll just await the prompt, which is any time now, because we're late setting off for some reason. There we go. The windows come up, the doors close. There'll be one open somewhere. Yeah, let's go. Truro is next. Get the brakes off. give it the beans. We can get up to 70 pretty much right outside the station, so let's pollute the atmosphere a little bit with this wonderful HST. And we've got 7.4 miles until we get into Truro. Nice run in HST. Of course, if you've got Great Western Express, and therefore you've got access to the HST, you can without getting the timetable, if you are on console, you just put the HST on here in free roam, or have a look on Creators Club. There's bound to be some scenarios that people have created. You can run it in the Great Western livery, in the standard livery from the Great Western Express. You've seen it back at Penzance. We saw a couple of them in the platform. So if you do want to run it on console, you can just run it in free roam if you've got this route, of course. Or just have a look on Creators Club for this cross-country livery, and perhaps you just want to get the cross-country livery and run it as I'm doing. You don't need the timetable. The timetable's nice. The mod for the timetable, I should say, because there's quite a lot of different stock on there, like the IETs and whatnot. But you know, you don't have to have the mod. You can still run an HST on here. In fact, I think if I go back far enough on the channel, I think I did run an HST on here quite a while back, not long after the West Cornwall released. Once we had the free roam ability, that is, which was a little bit after West Cornwall, but we've definitely done it. And now I'm speeding down the hill, so let's do that. This West Cornwall, by the way, could be another candidate for a remaster. We're waiting for the Great Western Express still. Northern Transpennine could do with one, but this could, you know, this could do with a brush up as well. Then again, I've just nearly rattled off the whole list, haven't I? I mean, they could all do with one. All the older ones, all the older routes could do with a brush up. Let's be fair. I would like to see this one brushed up, but I would like to see the Northern Transpennine done before this one, because the Northern Transpennine is a lot of people's favourites. It isn't my favourite anymore, as you know. That would go to Preston, Carlisle, West Coast Mainline, but for many years Northern Transpennine was my favourite route by far in Train Sim World. It's BR Blue. It's fairly local-ish to me. Manchester's not that far away. It was a good route. It is a good route. I still play it now, especially with the heavy freight pack, which adds so much to it. But it could do with a brush up, I think, along with many others. I think we've been spoilt with recent releases and the way the game has moved on between releases, as DTG and others have got better and better at doing it. Things, you know, things like the skies, etc. They've all improved so much from the original version. So some of that stuff needs retrofitting. Maybe something like that will also be announced at Dovetail Direct. I don't know. I mean, if you've got, you know, if you own a lot of the older content, and suddenly they say, oh, by the way, you know, those 3 or 4 routes that you've got, they're all getting an upgrade, and you don't have to pay for it because you've already got the routes. It's pretty good. Be a pretty good deal, to be honest. Plus, really, if a route gets graded, anyone who let's take Great Western Express just as an example. If you don't have Great Western Express and you don't like it in its current form, once that remaster comes out, you might think, oh, do you know what a great route that is now, and I've seen everyone playing it, I'm going to buy it. And suddenly a route that's been out for years and years, 2018 by the way, is when the original Great Western Express came out, because it was part of the original. It was part of the original package. It was the UK route of Train Sim World 2018, as it was called then. So suddenly people will buy a route that's been out for years and years, you know, just from it getting a bit more attention and a bit of an upgrade to what it was. So, you know, they're not silly. They'll make money out of it as well. So where it's a free upgrade for a lot of players, they will sell it to a lot of others for the first time. So, and I don't blame them, really. West Somerset was a really good upgrade. Again, West Somerset was the next. That was the next UK route after the Great Western Express. I think it came out in. Well, for console players, it came out in September of 2018. PC players got it before, because in those days, the releases were staggered. So PC got a route a couple of months before the console players got it. Imagine that now. That's almost like a time gone by, but I remember it clearly because I was watching lots of people playing the West Somerset, driving the green 47. I thought, I can't wait to get my hands on this. And at that time I wasn't on PC. I just had, well, then I had the PS4. So I was waiting for it to come out on PS4. And I think it was a good month to 6 weeks before it released on console. I don't know why that was. I think DTG probably were still very much dipping their toe into the water of the console market. And so they were probably getting used to the release process, etc. It could have been to do with that. But anyway, here we are now, where actually consoles get releases several hours before PC. So there's a thing. So the console has overtaken the PC in one way, at least. So there you go. Don't feel hard done to all you console players. Anyway, we're nearly at Truro. We've got just over 2 miles. Let's have another look at this wonderful cross-country livery. Yes, I like it. Right, 60 on this stretch. But it's a pleasant run in the HST. I wish we could go a little bit faster, but it's fine. Rules is rules. And we're booked in at 9:15 into Truro, so we might just do it. We might be a couple of seconds late. On the real service though, you wouldn't want to be late, would you? Not when you've got, you know, the full run's 11 hours. I don't know if that 11 hours actually includes any kind of stopovers, you know, so I don't know if the train is going all the way through and just stopping at stations, or whether you get to a certain point in the journey and you have an extended layover, like half an hour or whatever. I'm not sure. I guess that could cause some problems, couldn't it? Because if everybody gets out and stretches their legs, then, you know, like a coach trip, you're ready to set off and everyone's not back on board. So I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe they did that in years gone by, but I guess it goes straight the way through now. There's just the crew changes where there might be slightly longer of a layover. Right, less than a mile. So I'm starting to bring the speed down a little bit. We've only got 20 seconds until we're due in, so we're going to be slightly late, but I'm sure people will forgive us for that. The weather in this one, by the way, I think I've got it set to June and clear, so I haven't got the dynamic weather on. I didn't want the DTG fog coming in. That's another thing with TSW6, by the way. I hope there's some improvements to the dynamic weather. I'm quite a fan of the weather, the new dynamic weather. I think it makes a big difference. I'm just not I'm not a fan of the way it sometimes comes in. So, you know, you'll go from a completely clear day like this to suddenly, within 10 minutes, like a complete pea souper. And if you don't know what that means, if you're not from the UK, really thick fog, like pea soup, thick like pea soup, like a pea souper. That might not be a saying everywhere else in the world, but there's a 150 look in the old Great Western livery. That's another livery that comes with this mod. The West Cornwall original regional railways is over there, along with a bit of 66 action. I'm going to run up to the red. So dynamic weather, yeah, I hope dynamic weather gets a bit of an upgrade and it just works a bit better. It's a good idea. I just think it needs some tweaks. It needs some improvements to work as intended. I did run completely with dynamic weather on with TSW5, but then I started to turn it off a little bit, especially when I'm streaming, because you know, when I'm streaming, it's sometimes if I'm showing, you know, if I'm doing a first look, for example, it sometimes just ruins the thing. So let's get the doors open at Truro. We've got a few takers, which is quite nice. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there is the line over to Falmouth I was talking about earlier. So we are in the right neck of the woods. Penzance has still got the lowercase p, which I'm surprised just hasn't been, you know, quickly changed at some point. So yeah, over the bridge to Falmouth. So where does the Falmouth train go then? There's our player service. Did it go up there? Or is this just a siding, this one? Falmouth Docks. Falmouth Docks. So really, that goes off up there, does it, to Falmouth, I'm going to assume? That's quite nice. So there is a connection. Shall we have a quick look? This is the line that we were just looking at. No, actually, let me just check that. Or is Falmouth Docks this way somewhere? Is that to Falmouth? Is that it? That could be it. That could be the line to Falmouth down there. So I'm assuming it starts from this platform. So that's quite nice. I'm glad there's a little connection there. I had a feeling. And now I can't get out of the way of the scenery. Let's take the brakes off. We've got a green. We'll give it the full beans. We'll smoke out anyone who's going over this footbridge. Here's the crossing gates. That 66 gets close up to the road, doesn't it? Truro signal box. That's a great scene, that. Right, we're in a 30 going up to a 70. So we've got 13 miles to our final stop, which is St Austell. I'm already speeding at the station, but there we go. We're at the 70, so let's do it. And there is Truro Cathedral. For anybody who saw one of my early streams on here, and I couldn't quite locate where it was, there it is. I've redeemed myself for anybody who's watching, and you know who you are, who commented on that. Right, St Austell, 13 miles. We have got just over 11 minutes to get there. So we're well underway. We've got a few people on. I have a feeling that this service in real life will be a little bit more busy than this. But I guess there's people joining all the time. I don't know how many. I wonder how many people would regularly do the whole trip. And how many of those people are doing the whole trip out of, like fandom, for example? You know, like you or I might go down to Penzance and say, right, I'm going all the way up to Edinburgh now. Then I can say I've done it. But you know, so there's that side of it. How many are actually travelling on it because they actually need to go to Edinburgh this way, and they don't give a stuff about the fact that it's a train and you know, it could be an iconic route and all that kind of thing. It does make me wonder. And how much does it compare to other modes of transport to go that distance? All questions that I'm sure many of you will answer in the comments. Right, 11 to go. As we sweep around the curves towards St Austell. Great to see the HST weave about like this. Put a little bit more throttle in. We'll keep up the pace, I think, as we go into the tunnel. Pop back in. Quite dark. So once we get to St Austell, we need to just load the passengers, and that will be us out of there. What a pity we can't carry on. It is. I often think that about some of these routes. I'm one of those people that would like longer routes. That's why I like you know, South Eastern High Speed, Preston to Carlisle, just to name two. The Brighton mainline, let's name three. I like the longer routes. So I'm kind of hoping we get some longer routes. Even a longer version of this, or an extended version of this. That'd be great, honestly. But for now, we can only go to St Austell, so, you know, we'll take it. 9.3 to go. Now let's keep an eye on the signals, and we'll make sure that we do not shoot this red. Is this where we go down to the single track running? I can't remember. We'll just approach it cautiously. I'll put my teeth back in. But as we approach St Austell, don't forget, do let me know what you think. And by the way, we're nearly at 23,000 subscribers. That's crazy. Thank you to every single person that has subscribed to the channel. Onwards and upwards with TSW6, etc. There's plenty more. If you're here for just the trains, there's plenty more trains coming as we get the green light. So keep your eye on the channel and make sure you hit the bell as well. You can see what comes up as soon as it comes up. I know many of you already do. But yeah, 23,000. That's crazy. Big shout out to our members as well. Thank you for your additional support. That is much appreciated. But yeah, hope everybody's excited for TSW6. It was quite strange, wasn't it, that it was announced ahead of the Dovetail Direct. Different tactic this year. That's like letting everybody get used to the fact that there is a new version. And I've always said every year there will be a new version. I said when TSW5 came out, and some people didn't like it, I said expect TSW6 or another version with a different name to come out same time next year. And here we are, I'll say the same thing now, you know, with TSW6. I expect 7 next year, or it might not be called 7, it might be called something else, but I expect another version of it this time next year. They've let us know about it up front this time, which is strange. But then Dovetail Direct can then focus more on what the actual content of TSW6 is. I think that's quite a smart idea, to be honest. You've got used to the fact that there's going to be a TSW6. Now you can get used to what that actually entails, and you also know that you can get TSW6 for free. You can get the starter pack. You can upgrade your base game to TSW6 and still use all your old DLC, apart from Peninsula Corridor, which we knew about, which was withdrawn anyway because of the license. You'll need to stay on TSW5 if you want to just play that route. But yeah, you can get the upgrade to TSW6 for free, and then you just need to decide after Dovetail Direct if the routes that are announced and the bundles of those routes that are announced is something you're interested in, and then you can either choose to pick them up or not. I think it's quite a smart move. In past years, you've had to get used to the whole thing. You've had to get used to the announcement of a new TSW, and you've had to get used to what that entails. This time, you kind of know. You already know you're going to have to, unfortunately, download all your old routes again into TSW6. That's a pain in the... I'm not going to say what it's a pain in, but you know what I mean. It is for me as well. I'm going to try and upgrade my internet before before the end of August, because now it's available. Then I can download them a bit faster, because when you've got the DLC on PS5 and you've got it on PC, that's a lot of downloading to do, believe me. So I'm going to try and fix that if I can. But yeah, I think it's a smart move, and I think everybody can, hopefully, for the Dovetail Direct, relax a little bit more and just enjoy the announce of the routes. We'll see how it goes down, but I think it'll be all right. Back to this route, 6.3 to go. It doesn't seem to have taken us that long to get here, does it? What time did we leave? Was it about 9ish? In fact, we left before that. 8:35. 8:37 we actually left. So that's gone pretty quick. Pretty quick. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed running it in the HST. I've enjoyed running it in the HST, which is in this livery, which is our new livery in TSW, our new official livery, even though this actual HST livery is not official. I'm just thinking about, the future a little bit, and what these licenses might bring, and the variety they might bring to us going forwards. Have some horn from in the cab. Didn't you actually open the windows? You can't. You can open the doors. Can't open the windows. Which is weird. I presume the windows do open in real life, do they? In the HST? I'm not sure. Maybe they don't. Maybe the only option is to open the door. Certainly the doors won't open when you're moving. I wouldn't have thought. But we're not going to worry about that now, because once we get to St Austell, we'll be opening the door anyway and getting out of here. And they'll probably force us, they would probably force us to run a service all the way back again. 4.7. Looks pretty mean, doesn't it? That old letterbox window there. Just something about the shape of them looks pretty neat. But do leave me a comment once you've finished the video and completed the trip. It's always nice to hear from you. And I'll try and think of some more runs that I can do which are not out of the box standard DSW, because they're quite good, aren't they, to be able to see those. I don't know what you think, but to see the game that you play in a slightly different way is always quite good. .6 to go. We're gonna be late. I mean, we basically got like 18 seconds to get there. I don't know how we got so late, although I am going a little bit slower. We did have to slow down as that Great Western service came the other way as we got towards the single track section, the start of the single track section. So it could have been that slowed us down a little bit, but we're not here for the points, so we just want to keep our next driver on time if we can, because we don't want him getting in trouble at the other end. It's like a relay race, isn't it? Once you hand over the baton, you don't want to make the second guy late. So we'll do our best. Quite a hilly route this, isn't it? You don't really realise. It's quite up and down the whole way. Surprises you, in some places. Catch you out. We've still got 2.5 to go. You know what? I'm going to give it the beans. Try and keep it at the 65. We do have a yellow coming up. What a lovely train. Right, we scoot past the depot, which is a good sign that we're approaching fast. Normally a 37 parked over there if you are playing the standard timetable that comes with West Cornwall. Because we saw a 66, didn't we, earlier on at I think Truro, wasn't it? But 66s don't appear on this route, on the standard route. So that has been put there as part of this timetable, as part of this service. And there is a 66 with the railhead treatment train going through. That's a nice touch. That's a drivable service as well, that. In the timetable. Right, here we are. We have got just over a mile, a couple of minutes late. We'll be maybe 3 or 4 minutes late by the time we get in, but let's do it safely. Right, we'll start to put a bit of initial in any time now. There we go. So all that remains for me to say is I hope you have enjoyed this little trip on this section of the Penzance to Edinburgh in the CrossCountry HST. And do leave me a little like if you did, and then I know to do a few more of these. So thank you very much for watching. We'll be back to the regular schedule. Still on holiday at the moment, by the way. We'll be back to the regular schedule, Monday night streams very soon, if you're wondering where those have been the last couple of weeks. So don't worry about that. And hope everybody enjoys the rest of the week. Here we are at St Austell with its little palm trees. I'm going to get as close to the red again as I can without causing too much trouble. So let's just try and take that braking off, then we don't stop too short. It's getting much brighter now as we're coming into St Austell. Let's do that. Let's do that. Put some initial on. If we need it, I don't think we need it. There we go. Get the doors open. Welcome to St Austell. We'll leave this now to go on to Edinburgh. Thanks once again, everybody, for joining me. Do appreciate it. Take it easy, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye for now.